Come and dream with me.
Hello and welcome to What Do You Want to Watch, the Explosion Network's premier media podcast. Every week we get together to talk about movies, TV, and online content and help you answer the question, do you think more people care about CinemaCon this year after the studio? I'm your host, Ash Shubley. Join me today, Dylan Blight, because the same people who cared about CinemaCon before are the same people who actually watched the studio.
I think there's...
It's a Venn diagram that's a circle.
Yeah, I think it's a Venn diagram that's a circle, yeah.
Okay. But yes, this week, as this episode comes out, CinemaCon has already kicked off, so look forward to talking about it next week. Is there anything you're excited about hearing about?
I don't think I'm too aware of like what's supposed to be showing there, to be completely honest.
They've got posters for like The Odyssey and June and
yeah, but like I don't really like both of those things. I'm not like both of those things I'm excited to watch. I'm not excited. Like I have no interest in
to get secondhand information about.
I'm not excited about secondhand information. I'm not excited about like another trailer dropping or anything like that. Like I'm just like, cool. I'll watch them. I'm excited. Literally was talking last night when I was recording Arcade Couch. Obviously, I said before recording about booking my flights to go watch the Odyssey in IMAX here. So, like, I'm excited for all those things. I'm excited for anything else now.
I think the only thing that's piqued my interest is there's rumors we may be getting information about the next Spider-Verse movie at the Sony presentation, like a release window.
It was like if they show anything,
2029.
It'll be even if they show
stills or something.
it'll if most, and then it won't get released to the public. It'll just be CinemaCon exclusive, I reckon.
I think there'll be a few trailers that drop. Apparently, there's I saw somewhere said that the Resident Evil. What's the Evil Dead? The next one, Evil Dead Burn. The trailer for that is set to be released, so that could be something that drops this week. So yeah, but we'll wait and see. On today's episode,
hold on. I was looking at a list of who's there. So Angel, Sony Pictures, Classic, Studio Canal, Sony Pictures Entertainment, Day 1, Day 2, Neon and Warner Brothers. Neon, the next Oz picture potentially. I think he was filming that, and he's a big one for them. Universal Pictures the next day, and Focus Picture features Amazon, MGM Studios. What's Amazon have that I'm forgetting?
They're going to announce the next Bond.
Unlikely, I mean, maybe, but I mean,
that would be a wild thing to do.
The last day's Paramount Pictures plus Walt Disney. What the fuck are Disney showing? More just live action Moana?
Yeah, I saw like a cardboard cutout of Maui with the rock.
Yeah,
with that wig. The other thing I'm excited for, apparently there's going to be news around Godzilla Minus Zero. So that's a movie I'm looking forward to this year. So
who's doing the Zelda movie is my question. Who's distributing that? Because they've been filming that for a while, so that is a potential. I was trying to think of something that would make
news headlines. Yeah, so distributed by Sony Pictures.
Okay, so I mean maybe that could be. They've been filmed. They've started filming that ages ago. Remember, so that'd have something maybe.
Yeah, some more images at least.
Yeah, I was trying to think of some horror movie thing
out on stage. Yeah,
they usually at Universal every year at CinemaCon they show something Insidious or one of those.
They had some sort of Insidious presentation this week, which is
so
I don't know if they'll double up.
They could show more of
I'd say they're going to have Scary Movie 6 there. They had they've already showed images of like, I guess there's like faux Roman statues around. One of them is holding the Ghostface head. They put it in his hand or whatever. Exciting.
Neon probably show Hokum, how do you say it? That's their next big upcoming, the one starring Adam Scott from the Australian director. So can't remember their name, but they did the Ruins. Something like
Damien McCarthy, who previously did Caveat Oddity. Well, that's next week. On this episode, what do you want to watch? We'll be talking about what's in a watch history, going over some film trailers and thumbs for trailers, and give you this week's top 3. Kicking things off, Dylan, you're just fresh out of your sofa having watched the debut episode of Euphoria season 3, we've waited several years for this. What do you think?
I think fresh out of your sofa is an interesting descriptor.
Fresh off your sofa?
Fresh out of your sofa. I'm just trying to quick look. When was the last? So how long has it been? So season 2 ended. Last episode air date February 22nd. So probably 28th here, I guess. 2022. Wow, it's been a while. But yeah, watch the premiere episode. So here's the thing with this, the setup for this. Media, they did screenings in cinemas for media in America. And I believe they showed the first 3 episodes, from my understanding. That's where all the reviews have been coming from for the first 3 episodes, I think. I presume they showed them on the cinema just like as one big like 2.5 hour binge session, right? Reviews have been very mixed. Scores and stuff that I've seen come all over the place. I haven't seen anything particularly too high. The highest I think I've seen is like a 6 or a 7 for those 3 episodes that I watched. So I was going into this first episode a little bit trepidatious. I was already going in like that just because Sam Levine's had and this whole cast and stories had such a interesting couple years, shall we say. And it was just intrigued to see how it turned out. Now, I enjoyed the first episode. I think that it is very different to the previous 2 seasons, which isn't the issue for me. But from what I could see Googling around, like just reading general people's impressions of it, there does seem to be at least some people who their complaints of this first episode aren't so much anything specific other than it doesn't feel like the original 2 seasons anymore. Not a problem for me because they've done a time jump because of how long it's been. And having continued the story where it left off wouldn't have made so much sense because of the time and the fact that they still would apparently be trying to play teenagers in high school still. So they've aged them up. So I think it's 5, 6 years since the ending, since where we left all these characters at the end of season 2. And I mean, season 2 ended on something of a cliffhanger, so it's sort of weird to just jump ahead. But so, for example, this season, the season starts, the opening to this is, and I guess to put in some perspective for people who don't watch the show, I'm spoiling past seasons, but you know, how do you talk about new one? Rue in season 2, Zendaya's character, she did a deal and took a bunch of like $10K to get a bunch of drugs off this drug dealer lady and said she'd pay it back. Her mum then found the drugs and flushed them all down a toilet because she's, trying to get the drugs away from her drug addicted daughter, which we all knew that was going to go terribly. Now, this season opens ahead and you find out like halfway into the episode that basically Rue was found short a couple of years after the events of the season finale by the drug dealer lady, and she's put her to work as a drug mule to try and repay her debt, which she's added years of like 20% per year that she's on top of it for the 10K she borrowed or whatever. So she's got some ridiculous like $100,000 that she's trying to pay back and can't. The season opens with her getting across the Mexican border with this bag of drug money or drugs. I don't think they ever really show what's in it. Money, I think. And the most interesting way and just the difference of this show is that instead of this flashy, we're used to like more neon lights and just the way the show shot, it's like instantly drastically different look of just brown, Mexico border crossing coming into Texas. And she's got a truck or a full drive, and some dudes like set up 2 metal bars that she attempts to drive up to get across the border. So I'm not sure the plausibility of this, but Donald Trump will probably want to look into this if it's a real thing that can be pulled off or not. And well, I mean, it doesn't pull off because Rue attempts to drive up it. She gets halfway and then gets stuck. Her car gets stuck on top of the pole, the gate at the top, and then she sort of has to make her way out of this without falling to her death or having the car tumble on top of her. So the season opens with something you'd expect to see more in Breaking Bad than Euphoria sort of scene. So to put the tone in place. So from there, the show does a little bit of backdrop, catching up on where characters are, introducing them to where they are now. And Rue is the focus for this episode primarily, and I mean, she's the main character of the show. You do get a little bit of other people. So you get Jacob Elordi and Sydney Sweeney, who Nate, Jacob Elordi's character, is taken over his dad's business. He's about to get married to Cassie, who's Sydney Sweeney's character. However, Cassie she wants this big elaborate wedding that she cannot do. Like, she's talking about $5,000 worth of bouquet, and she's like trying to basically talk Nate into letting her do OnlyFans to fund her dream wedding, because even with the amount of money he's making, she just has ridiculously rich taste. We see a little bit of Maddie, who's Alexa Demi's character. She's working as a manager for actors and some influencers, and she's bumping into Maud Apatow's character a bit because Lexi is working as a job title, but she's like a producer, maybe, or at least a assistant producer, I think is sort of how I took it in working in Hollywood. They attempt to do a little bit of, in like the weirdest way, because season 2 was a big part of like setting up her storyline with Angus Cloud, Fezco, who of course Angus Cloud passed away between seasons, and they cover it. They sort of, I don't want to say sweep under the rug, but they had to deal with that because that was such a big storyline in the last season, but things passed away. And they have this sort of odd conversation play out between Rue and Lexi, where they're talking about how Rue is telling Lexi that she should ring Fezco, who they're saying is in prison and he's doing 30 years because of being found for, I assume, they never really cover what his charges are, but presumably drugs, and because he was selling drugs and stuff. And then it has a line where like Zendaya Rue says something about, you shouldn't wait to call him because you never know when someone could go, or something like. It's just very like meta sort of. It felt odd because they're talking about like they're talking about the character, but obviously the actor's dead, and they all knew this when filming it, so it just feels a little bit odd. But who else was there in the who the fuck up in that cupboard? Where's the list of people? Give me some faces. Who did I talk about? I appreciate that they dragged in Chloe Cherry, who plays this character called Faye. She was brought in last season as this just a druggy chick that hangs around with Fezco. And I wondered if she'd just disappeared now that his character's gone. But Rue drags her into the drug laundering business. So that's been quite fun. Then Toby Wallace is playing one of the drug girls' sidekick people or whatever. So shout outs to him. He's always just an asshole in everything he's in. Most prominently, most people would know him as the shit of a kid who in the Bike Riders, who turns on Tom Hardy's character, or if you watch The Royal Hotel, he's an absolute just asshole. Like, he's just good at playing an asshole.
Or the shit boyfriend in Baby Girl. Oh no,
yeah, the
Baby
shit
Teeth.
Baby Teeth. Yeah, that guy. So he's doing another role where he's just a shit person, is what it seems. So, but anyway, I enjoy his presence in things for what it's worth. And then by the end of the episode, we get a little bit of Sharon Stone, who's playing like this. I don't know what her role is, like a movie studio person or something. Like, she's working with Maud Apatow's character. So I'm enjoying the little bit of a scene of her so far. And then, sorry, I'm just looking at the cast to make sure I don't miss anyone. Get a little bit of Coleman Domingo, who's returning as Ali, has a scene with Rue Zendaya, always being her attempt to keep her grounded, even though she's just lying to everyone in her life about what she's actually doing, which is being a drug mule, and telling them all that she's just this Uber driver, which she is doing Uber driving between doing the drug mule stuff. So typical. But the standout introduction for this episode was this brand new character called Alamo Brown, played by Adwale Akaneo Abjabai. Oh my god, I'm butchering that terribly. I'm so sorry. But the whole episode, I'm going, where do I know this dude from? I was like, oh, he was in Lost. That's right, Mr. Echo. How could I forget? But he's introduced alongside one of these. He's like what do you call it? Like second-hand man, whatever's played by Marshawn Lynch, which I thought he only did that acting role in
Bottoms,
but yeah, then I spotted him straight away in this because I only recently watched that. So, but he's introduced as this. At the end of the episode, Rue goes to drop off some drugs to this dude, and then asks to use the bathroom at the house and goes for a wander around, sees all these naked girls wander around the place, and Rue's like, hell yeah, I'm all about this. And then she starts partying with all these girls and then just gets stuck there and meets the guy who runs the place, which is this, basically implies himself as, I don't know, a pimp. I don't know, says he deals in the most prominent commodity in the world, which, as he calls, is pussy. But he's just a very interesting character so far. But no Hunter Schafer so far, not the first episode, disappointingly. So see what happens there. But
can't have everybody.
Can't have everybody in the first episode, but that's all right. But yeah, I mean, look, as far as the first episode goes, I don't know, maybe it'll take a downturn as the episodes go. Been hearing some, as I said, the reviews have been sort of scathing and saying it's not living up to the standard, that Sam Levinson has just got more of a, I don't know, the show takes more of a misogynistic turn. I guess that could, especially depending on the direction the Sydney Sweeney storyline goes, the OnlyFans stuff. Apparently Hunter Schafer's character is potentially being a prostitute this season as well. I don't know. We shall see. But judging based on this episode alone, I enjoyed it, but it was primarily Rue focused. And Rue was quite often not quite often. She's like the only female character in the show who has always sort of had more of a emotionally filled, drama-driven storyline and less reliant on sex, I guess. And then the show just has so much drama behind the scenes. I don't know, but either way, there's no way this isn't the last season. I know they haven't 100% said that yet, but there's just no way it's not the last season. So I'm going to see it through to the end. Either way,
wait, you're saying there's no way it's not this is the last season, or
no? I'm saying there's no way it's not the last season. Like there's no way there's another season.
Continues, is what you're saying.
No. I'm saying there's no way this isn't the end.
Okay.
I'll be shocked if this season isn't the end. Even if they leave the story potentially open for future stuff just because he refused to close the door, I assume that most storylines will get wrapped up with, just because there's no way we're going for more. So there's just that element of...
No way they can afford to get everything back.
Yeah, no way. Especially with all the drama. I mean, have you seen that video going around of like
Zendaya didn't want to get a photo with Sam Levinson.
Her PR team pushed away Sam Levinson, and that's a whole weird thing because they'd been working together for years, and she even did that Netflix movie with him and all that sort of stuff. Like, there's so much odd shit happening behind the scenes.
It was so bad.
The cast and drama behind this show now is more talked about than the show itself. Is another big problem with this show. Like, I was flicking through my Instagram reels last night, and then because the algorithm, because I liked a few too many Euphoria season 3 videos or some shit, suddenly all I'm seeing is like these clips of people on podcasts and stuff talking about the drama behind the scenes and all this stuff. I'm like, everyone's just talking about it. And now I'm talking about it. So I don't know. Like, it's just going on the
Sydney Sweeney versus Zendaya thing.
Sydney Sweeney versus Zendaya.
Who's the biggest star?
Hunter Schafer versus Jacob Elordi is apparently a thing.
What?
Apparently they don't like each other. Oh my God, there's so many rumors behind the scenes of this show. Apparently Hunter Schafer was supposed to be doing the Sydney Sweeney storyline for season 2, but then the two didn't get along. So then Sydney Sweeney got pushed, and that's why her story took that direction. And then like again, I don't know where any of this information. This is just all shit that I've seen online. I don't want to say that any of it means anything, but I've seen multiple people and videos now pop up where people are telling me the same information, and I'm taking it as verbatim because how could there be lies on the internet, actually? But yeah, there's so much drama behind this show.
I mean, if HBO is smart, they put out the behind the scenes documentary like as soon as the series ends.
I know.
The tell all.
And then fucking
reunion special-esque, like The Bachelor or something.
Fucking yeah, like Married at First Sight.
Yeah.
And then what's her face turned up? It was at the premiere, and then got thrown off a plane or some shit like afterwards. What's her name?
Natasha Lyonne.
Natasha Lyonne. She showed up and caused a whole drama. One part, the drama was a non-issue because she just wore a sheer top, and then that caused issue for all the anti-titty crowd or whatever. And that was one issue. I saw that. That was popping up when it was live, and I'm like, leave her alone. And then after that, hours passed, and I think I opened Instagram again, and it's like, Natasha Lyonne kicked off a plane. I'm like, what is going on? It's just nothing of the show can...
She been in the show?
Apparently she guest stars at some point.
Okay.
So.
All right.
It's a wild world. Anyway, first episode, good. Let's see how we go.
Cool.
Check back for my thoughts later.
Well, Dylan, speaking of Zendaya and the drama.
Oh yeah, very good.
I went to the cinema and watched the drama, which also stars Robert Pattinson.
Now, I'm going to say two things before you continue.
Yes.
I missed my chance to watch it last week when I thought I was going to go, and then I couldn't.
Mhm.
I don't think the drama spoiled. I have seen some articles say stuff about, now you can bleep this if it is
What I said last week.
If I'm going to say, if it says, I don't remember what you said last week, but so I've seen
Good luck
people
to
say something about school shootings is an element
Yes.
of it. Now that's all I know. And to be honest, reading that has still not really, I'm like, there's so many directions that could
Yes.
go. So I still haven't had this spoiled.
No, so I will
somehow.
avoid
Shockingly,
directly
actually.
saying what it is.
I'm sort of shocked I haven't had it spoiled though.
But yes, if you haven't seen the trailers and that kind of stuff, it's a very dark rom-com, I guess, would be the easiest way to describe it. It is dramatic, but there is also like that awkward tension and jokes and that kind of stuff. Zendaya and Rob Pattinson are an engaged couple about to get married. It's the week before their wedding. When they're out wine tasting, I guess, with their best friends, I guess, who they played by. Alana Haim plays the maid of honor, and who is the other actor?
Apparently, she's the worst character in the movie.
Oh,
So my social media says.
Mamadou Athie plays the best man. That pair is also married as well. But as they're drinking, they like bring up a thing that they did before their wedding, where they revealed to each other what the worst thing they've ever done is. So like, let's talk about it now. So each of them reveal the worst thing they've done. He guesses in there, and she reveals
the
the worst thing she's done, and it's a biggie. It's a
question. How early in the film does the scene play out?
I would say 20 to 30 minutes, maybe, or maybe yeah.
So you get a little bit of them,
15 to 20, something like that. I mean, it opens with like Rob Pattinson preparing his wedding speech, so he flashes back to different sections through the relationship. So you build up the relationship through a series of flashbacks. Includes an awkward meet cute where he tries to impress her because of the book that she's reading and pretending that he knows what it is. But he goes up and he at first thinks she's ignoring him because she doesn't say anything. She's just zoned in, but he doesn't realize that one, she's got an earphone in her left ear and she's also deaf in her right ear. So he's just standing there like an idiot talking to her and she hasn't been able to hear a word. But then she's like, I'll let you have a second chance because he looks like Rob Pattinson, I guess. But yeah, this reveal changes Rob Pattinson's perspective, and I guess this is a film about how much do you really know about your partner, and like what secrets are they keeping in the closet and that kind of thing, and I guess what kind of events shape them through their life and that kind of stuff. I was enthralled the entire time. It was really I wouldn't say enjoyable because there's certain segments that are like really rough and like hard to watch. But yeah, Alana Haim she does a great job at being this self-righteous, overbearing figure who is still, despite being very opposed to Zendaya's character, still is the maid of honor at the wedding and gives a incredible wedding speech. But yeah, I think the film is mostly around Robin Pattinson dealing with this new information in his life and how he feels about it in the course of the 1 week leading up to his wedding. So yeah, I mean, I found it quite enjoyable, but I liked it a lot. Don't want to keep using the word enjoyable. I mean, there was one section where Alana Haim's character, she feels like she needs to get permission from her cousin to go to the wedding because of the things that Zendaya did. So she is coming after meeting Robin Pattinson's character. So Robin Pattinson goes down to the street and tries to stop her cousin, or like try and like sway her before they meet up, and it's like so awkward. And I hate awkward situations. So that was rough. But yeah, really interestingly shot. It's directed by the guy who did Dream Scenario, so it's like that kind of tone. Also, Robin Pattinson is British in this film. So like, I already mentioned that there is stuff about school shootings. So he does say, school shootings are the things you guys all do over here. It's just part of your culture, right? So good times.
We're all thinking it.
Everybody outside of America is thinking it. And also the Americans, the smart Americans. So
You know what I have been enjoying about this film is the media tour, because Robert Pattinson is, I think, over the last couple of years, become one of the best. I think Robert Pattinson and Dakota Johnson are my two favorite people to see
Interviewees.
on interviewees, because I don't think they've ever had media training, or if they did, it just went in one ear
I
and out
think
the other.
They just
Also,
don't
they're
care.
both just 100% on the spectrum, whether or not they want to look into that or not. That's their choice. Again, no judgment, but they are 100% of both.
I enjoy just Robert Pattinson's just, willingness to say anything.
Yeah.
I think he's just doing it for his own amusement more than anything
You
else.
see that clip of him saying he smells like crayons?
No.
On which show was it? It was one of the which late show still exists? Was it Jimmy Fallon maybe? I think one of those. It's like, he goes like, he says, yeah, I smell like crayons, smell me. And then like Zendaya smells him and she's like, you smell fine, like you smell good, but you don't smell like crayons. And when I said Jimmy smells, he's like, see, I smell like crayons. It's like what the fuck does that even mean? But you see on his face, he's like, yeah, look, I smell like crayons. Like, what? And it's like the Jennifer Lawrence interview from last year where he's like, what's he say? I'm a
millennial.
I'm a millennial. She's like, you're not. You like your age is not. He's like, Gen Z. He's like, no, I'm not.
What year are you born? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
And then when I see a clip of him this way, you did some interview that all the Twilight crowd were loving. And I appreciated it too, because I actually still think that the original Twilight movie I'll stand by as being a good movie. I enjoyed it. It has it just commits to what it's going for, and I cannot hate it for that. But everyone has this whole thing where they think that he hates all those movies. Now, I still think he hates the ones that go on, like afterwards when it turned into the shitstorm of a franchise. But he talks about working on the first movie, and he speaks rather positively about like the majority of it. But he points out this one thing that I never knows and makes fun of himself. Where the first time Christian Stewart spots his character in it, and he goes to sit down at a table, he like sits down, but he uses his two little pointer fingers to like rest on the table as he comes down to like sort of lean himself down. So he does like a weird little like sit down like this. And he's like, I don't know why I done it like that. I think in my mind I was doing it for this reason or whatever. But now that I've seen it, I can never not see it. What a guy. He's an interesting guy.
I did enjoy him just saying nobody was Team Jacob. It was just a marketing thing. Nobody actually was Team Jacob.
No one's actually Team Jacob.
All right. Check out the drama. So season 5 of The Boys has started this season with the first 2 episodes already being released. So I guess slight spoilers for anyone who hasn't been caught up. But Homelander has pretty much taken over America. He is leading Vought Industries. He has bought the president pretty much. Ashley, the executive assistant at Vought, is now the vice president. So he's pretty much got control over.
Is Giancarlo Esposito dead now? I haven't watched the last 2 seasons.
I don't think so. I feel like I saw him in a trailer, so
right, okay.
There's a chance he might be back. I can't remember 100%. But yes, he's got complete control and has started rounding up anti-Homelander people and starting to put them in internment camps.
So he has ice in this show as well. Yeah, okay, cool.
Some of them have superpowers, but yes, they do have they are rounding up people.
I think ice with superpowers is the scariest sentence.
Yeah. I mean, the series opens with he's at the Vought investor meeting or whatever, and Starlight breaks in and like airs the 747 video from like the first season of the show that nobody ever saw. And they spin it as in it's all AI. This isn't something that actually happened. It's all fake. So it makes no impact, just like real life. And then because he's a pissed that people are starting to make memes about him, he's decided that anybody who says anything about Homelander needs to be imprisoned.
Okay.
Which Vought is not a fan of, because they do need people, and the government isn't a fan of, because they do need people to start paying taxes to help them fund them putting people in these internment camps and that kind of stuff. Yes, Starlight's on the run, Butcher's on the run, and Kimiko is on a run. Everybody else has been captured and they're in an internment camp. And to draw them out, Homelander has decided he's going to have a public execution of them, which leads to Butcher rounding them all up to try and recover them all, mostly because he needs Frenchie to help with the Godolphin virus, which is a virus that will kill all superhuman beings, potentially. So that's the setup for the
someone die in this first episode? I kept seeing people online.
A character who was featured in all seasons so far does die in the first episode. So I don't think they're going to be pulling their punches. But yeah, I will be surprised if there aren't more deaths leading towards the end of the season, because obviously they're setting it up that, it's the final season. The showrunners coming out and said they don't want to really pull punches. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. They're going full blown, doing everything, like hitting all the targets that you would expect. It's like full mega. Daveed Diggs plays like a superhero preacher who's married to Ashley, the vice president. And you like giving off the super religious vibes and that kind of stuff. Soldier Boy appears again because Homelander feels like he doesn't have anyone we can trust, so he brings his father back from.
Gotta bring Daddy out.
Being chronologically frozen. And he's concerned at first.
Is this a sex thing?
Sex thing, because first thing he tells him is like, I just found out that you're alive, you're frozen, but why is my tank in your bedroom? That's a fair question. If you just found out, why is my tank here? But yeah, so the boys are working to get this virus functioning. In the second episode, they try to find they go and target a lower level superhero team to see if it actually works. And that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. It looks pretty good. There's some fun, quirky deaths. There's still freaky, gross out stuff. I don't know. In the comics, there was a character called the Worm, I believe, who burrows, who is like a human worm. I feel like it's a melding of a few characters. But yes, so to tunnel into the internment camp, he has to take off his clothes.
And, there was a character that
eats the dirt and shits it out. Also, I don't know if you remember from previous seasons, there was a character who just had a really long penis, like I
remember that. Yeah.
Tentacle penis. He comes back and is dealt with painfully. So yes, check out.
Like, as someone who's a couple seasons behind, but has read all the comics, I still don't. It's just wild to me how, and not that it's a bad thing, but I'm like the way the comics end. I'm like, there's no way this is way different.
Yeah, I mean, it's a timing thing. I think this one kind of leaned in or was influenced by the administration,
and the
political world that it was being made in, and that kind of stuff. So, and it was slightly toned down from the comics. I feel like it was pretty
very toned down. The comics was
like sexual violence and that kind of stuff, and that kind of stuff was
the comics. A lot of that stuff, if that was coming out now, you'd be like,
I don't know. So, yeah, I would recommend catching up with the boys, because it's gonna be a wild final season. I also watched Malcolm in the Middle, Life's Still Unfair, which is the Malcolm in the Middle revival. Only 4 episodes of about 30-something minutes.
I dropped it all at once.
They dropped it all at once. It follows I don't even know what the family name is. What is Malcolm's last name?
The Middles.
The Middles, maybe. This is
Smith.
Surely.
Turner. Johnson.
If the family's name was kept a secret.
There you go. So all my answers could have been correct.
It's crazy. So yes, the family are reconvening because it's Hal and Lois's 5th anniversary. But in the 20 years since, Malcolm, I believe, went to college at the end of the series. He is like kind of cut himself off from the family. He's got an intricate system in which he sees them as little as possible. He is running a successful charity that gets unused food from grocery stores to charities that actually need that food, doing the Lord's work or whatever. But also he has a teenage daughter that his parents don't know about, none of his family know about, who he has kept in the dark, has told that all his family has died. So he keeps the 2 lives kind of separate, because he feels like anytime he goes near his family, he's an asshole, and reverts to the terrible way he was as a child. So he's doing it for his own mental health. Meanwhile, you go back and the whole family is like kind of together as best as they can be. Dewey, he's over somewhere in Europe. He's a big musician, apparently. And their fifth child is grown up and is part of the army. Their 6th child, Jamie, who was it Jamie or Kelly, is their 6th child. Interestingly, is non-binary. And it's never like a big deal. They're just non-binary. Although they make an effort. It's about Hal making an effort to try and say the right words and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, naturally, Hal and Lois find out that Malcolm has been keeping away from them on purpose, barges into his house despite him apparently being like a whole layover away, not a direct flight to him. And they find out he has a daughter, and that doesn't go down well. So the rest of the episodes are like kind of dealing with the lead up to the anniversary party, which Lois is throwing for Hal because Hal always does big romantic gestures for Lois, and she wants to do one for him. And Malcolm trying to figure out, how to blend his two worlds back together, I guess. I had a good time, especially as someone who didn't watch all of it, but has fond memories of the show that we've discussed last time when we talked about the trailer. I think it's a really good setup. It does a lot of the things from the show, like Malcolm breaks the fourth wall and talks to the camera. Also, his daughter Leah breaks the fourth wall and talks to the camera because she is
got the same skills.
Yeah, she's got some skills. No, but interestingly, Malcolm is purposely tried to raise her the opposite of his parents. He's like the safe parent, easy parenting and kind of person, and that's kind of fucked her up in a way where she can't deal with any criticism or hasn't been able to make any friends or deal with any bullying or that kind of stuff. So she's dealing with her problems. I definitely feel like the series is definitely set up in a way that they could continue it with the focus shifting to Leah being the main character, much in the way that the revival of Boy Meets World was like the dude's daughter was the main focus, or it was Girl Meets World. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do a spin-off focused on her as the central person potentially, and then have all the family run through. And then you don't necessarily have to have everyone, or you just call it season 2, and that's an element because you still got the family going wild. Reese still causing problems, including a long-running scam in which he is pretending to bond with Hal over home fixes, but he's actually just using Cal for compilation fail videos on the internet. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I had a good time. There are a lot of people who show up, especially towards the anniversary, and like, oh, that's that character from that other show, but also I guess they were in Malcolm Middle at some point. Yeah, pretty great. So check out that. I've also finished watching the latest season of Shrinking, the 3rd season, obviously a show we really love. I don't know if you've watched any of this season.
I haven't caught up on this season though.
So this season is mostly focused on the idea of moving on. Alice is going to college at the end of the season across the country. Harrison Ford's character has, at some point during the seasons, decides that he's going to move close to his daughter and be closer to his grandson. And other people are starting to move on with their lives, and Jimmy is kind of struggling with being able to make that next move. I had a great time. I don't know that it's as good as the previous couple of seasons. I feel like it definitely feel like this may be shifting in the kind of direction of the show. Like the first couple of seasons feel like they had a clear focus and a clear direction that they wanted to push for. Whereas this season, it feels a little bit more like it is turning into a hangout show where it's a bunch of friends who stick around and have fun and have different misadventures every week. With a couple of through lines, which is what I can get on board with that, because everybody in the cast is really fantastic. Jessica Williams, Luke Tenney, who apparently is in everything now because he just showed up in The Pit this week, and he's also been in the latest season of Abbott Elementary. So he's in everything. Michael Urie is simply fantastic, and as this season he becomes a new father, and that's tough for a narcissist like him to deal with a child. This season has a really bunch of great guest stars. Michael J. Fox shows up for a shorter than I would have liked character arc where he plays a Parkinson's person, talking to Harrison Ford about dealing with Parkinson's, seeing his character also deals with Parkinson's. And the catchphrase on the show is Parkinson's. Candice Bergen shows up as Derek's mom after he has a health scare. But my favorite is Jeff Daniels, who shows up as Jimmy's dad. And then their dynamic is really interesting, and you can tell why Jason Segel's character has daddy issues based on that relationship. It becomes kind of pivotal, and like it's really interesting seeing Jeff Daniels play this really charming dude, but also a character you kind of really have a genuine dislike for. Also, Kobe Smulders returns as Jimmy's love interest. So, yeah, Shrinking, really great season. I would have been very fulfilled if that had been the end of the show, but they've already renewed it for 4 seasons. So I'm excited to see how they kind of bring the band back together, especially with Harrison Ford being across the country. So, Shrinking, very keen to find out what's next on that show. All right. Let's quickly move into the stand-up section. I watched the new Netflix special for Aaron Chen called Funny Garden.
This is an American one, right?
This is an American one.
Yeah.
So it's about Aaron Chen, who people would know from the show Fisk and from Guy Montgomery's Mont Spelling Bee.
You know what? Yes. We'll say it is.
Guy Montgomery's Guy Mont Spelling Bee.
There we go.
There we go. So yeah, it's like 50 minutes of that kind of humor, and him talked about him moving to New York City and all the things that do to him, and like, I don't know. He's got a very dry sense of humor that is very difficult to replicate, and he is all about delivery.
Is a very Australian delivery of comedy, I think. So that's why I was wondering how it would go with the American.
It definitely is interesting to hear it play in front of an audience, but also I feel like that audience is like kind of receptive because he likes, how many people here know me from Fisk, and there's like a fair bit of sharing.
That show apparently does well in America. They got picked up by someone over there. They like air it over there. Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was on Netflix, so
maybe
that's the connection. So yeah, he talks about the process of getting a visa, and the very weird questions they ask towards the end. That
how do you feel about our Lord and Savior Donald Trump?
Not yet. It's more like, do you have any child slaves? Have you committed any war crimes?
Not yet.
The warlords with the child slaves must be really disappointed they can't get into America. And just one of the dumb, silly jokes that works because of his delivery is like, his wife, like, he got married, but they decided to move to America, so she quit her high influence job and moved with him to America. And, she's going to culinary school, learn how to cook over in America. Aaron says next she's going to enroll her in laundry school and cleaning school. Jokes that work with his delivery. So I would highly recommend it. It's a good 50-minute special.
Yeah, it's on my list
of things to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan. Obviously, I've watched nearly everything he's done, I think.
All right, let's move into the mandatory Netflix segment of the show.
That wasn't?
That was only the stand-up special.
That was the prelude.
That's the section dedicated to stand-up comedy.
Stand-up, right. Yeah, okay.
This is the Netflix segment. Mandatory Netflix segment. It definitely happens every week. We have both watched the new Untold documentary that released on Netflix called Chessmates. That follows 2 widely regarded chess players. You've got Magnus Carlsen, who was the number 1 ranked player in the world, at least at the time of the documentary being made, a big person within the world of chess. And then you've got Hans Niemann, who was an up-and-coming rising star who kind of found notoriety online through chess.
Twitch streaming and stuff.
Twitch streaming. Chess.com became like a big hit during the pandemic. I guess people were playing a lot of chess to pass the time, something they could do while they were doing work from home, I guess. So it documents both of them to their first ever in-person contest.
Well, I'll tell you right now, my favorite part of this documentary is the moment in which they spend, I think, 2 minutes explaining what they call, I think, board chess or something. Like, they refer to it as if it's the alternative way to play chess, and they spend 2 minutes explaining why
what's the differences between online chess and
but the movie up until that point has treated digital chess as the standard, that when they begin talking about using actual pieces, that they're like, hold on, this is a very different way to play, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, they compare it to playing soccer online versus playing soccer in real life, I guess.
Yeah, it's just funny that Because I'm like, yeah, that's the main way the game's been played.
Yes. So yeah, it goes about their first contest. I don't know what they call match, I guess.
Confrontation?
Is it chess match?
Yeah. Game?
Game.
Match?
There we go. Their first game against each other.
Yeah, and then they have a match, yeah.
Which Hans wins. It's part of this prestigious competition. He wins despite having lost a lot during the competition. He beats the number 1 ranked player in the world. But Hans, no. What's the other dude name?
You're doing better than I can't remember.
Magnus, sorry, is convinced that Hans cheated, and that's how he beat him. And that sets off a whole bunch of different through lines that result in this story becoming notorious within other news outlets. Had you heard about this story before? I guess is my question.
No. I'm aware of some of the big named chess Twitch streamers. Most prominently, I can't remember his name, but he's in this. He's one of the talking head interview people in it. And I'm aware of there being a chess community of Twitch streaming that took up during COVID that blew up. But otherwise, I was not aware of any drama.
So I'm going to say it. It's in the trailer, but the internet came to believe that he was able to cheat because they do have do like scanners, and they do like check if they've got any devices on their body to see if they're cheating. The internet came to believe that he was using anal beads to cheat. And now Hans, unfortunately, constantly is asked about anal beads wherever he goes. And yeah, I guess that's a major draw for this documentary, this confrontation. I thought it was really interesting and like kind of like pitting these two characters against each other. And I don't know who is the hero and who is the villain. I feel like this is interestingly a very even-handed Netflix documentary where despite Hans definitely having a past of cheating, there's no proof that he did during those confrontations against Magnus. So I feel like, yeah, it's really interesting to see these two characters like kind of fully fleshed out, and you don't know at different points. I feel like you root for either one. Dylan, what do you think of the documentary?
Yeah, it's a very fun documentary. It's a weird, wide. You wouldn't think a bunch of chess stuff could be.
It's just an interesting, unique world.
Yeah, it is. It's very much a world I'm not aware enough of, and that sort of helps it become more interesting. But also that element of like, I'm aware of it being a world, but I just don't know anything about it. So it's just on the cusp, and then you watch something and you're like, man, some shit's going down over here. Because I never saw that clip about the anal beads where he's being interviewed by
Piers Morgan.
And apparently that was like a big circulated clip. But again, goes to show, as much as you think you're paying attention and know what's happening on the internet, I still miss that. I don't recall ever seeing that clip, which is just very funny because Piers Morgan just going, anal beads. Like,
have you ever used anal beads?
Have you ever, like, very seriously, have you ever used anal beads? It's like, do you mean to like in chess or generally? Because I feel like they're two very different questions. Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun, like especially because the main dude, what's his name? The
cheater or
the cheater?
Hans
is a wild character, and then the documentary makes sure in the first 15, 20 minutes to make sure to show that he's not a play chess and think players. He's bringing he thinks he's bringing, football, live sport attitude to the game of chess. He's a revolutionary, this motherfucker. And I mean, he's sort of interesting about, playing chess in such a young age, playing at the hustler tables in New York City to make money and all these different elements. Even though, I mean, honestly, even the way he speaks about and admits to his cheating, maybe he's just really good at lying, but I watched him talk about him. I'm like, I believe you, dude. I do believe that you have owned the times you cheated, and I mean, you can understand, like, you can understand why someone who is obsessed with being number one was drawn to the dark side of trying to do some cheating. But there's still no denying he's obviously good at the game, because he wouldn't have got to the stage he got to even need to cheat to try and get that little bit of an edge. But then, I mean, yeah, by the time you get to the end of it, it's like he did cheat, but then did he cheat when it mattered? The findings are no.
It's so interesting because they've got the founders of chess.com.
Yeah.
as interviewers during this whole process. So they're the people who, one of them was like a big advocate for him at the start of his career or whatever, but then they're the people who like found out he was cheating through their anti-cheating technology. But then they like are making a deal with Magnuson's company to like merge post this major event. It's like, how is it all kind of tied together? Like, is there a level of corruption there? You know,
it's all politics.
They're placating him or whatever. So
yeah. And then the settling court cases in the behind the scenes and stuff like that for however much money. Yeah, interesting world, interesting character, and all I'd like to say is, chess speaks for itself. The chess speaks for itself. I let the chess speak for itself.
Yeah. You go to chess?
No, let's not on what?
Not after watching this documentary.
No. I mean, I used to play it a fair bit when I was younger. I had my chessboard and everything. Sometimes would play it in school when they did the little chess clubs, because I love to ride the line between being an ultra nerd and then also fitting into the weird crowd somehow, and then just doing anything to not ever be friends with jocks, because fuck jocks. Y'all want to mean? Be a skater kid and a chess player, you know? Yeah, nerd skater kid. You can do both, but fuck the jocks, you know? Yeah, so I enjoyed playing chess, but I would never claim to be good at it.
Yeah, I remember as a kid, I had one of the little like chess, I don't know, AI computer little things, so you could play against the computer. You just move the pieces for it.
Yeah, but I think that
many a holiday I would spend playing that.
Yeah, well, I used to. So I had like a little mini set that you like sort of folded in half, and all the pieces would fit inside that. But it was like a really good travel one, because whenever I went camping and stuff, because anyone listening, no one's listening to this young enough, but it's crazy to think that now people can't go without obviously technology and phones and all these sorts of things. And sometimes we'll be like, I'm going to go camping. What I'm going to bring is my chess set. So then at night, I can play chess. And that was the entertainment. I can play chess and I can talk to people, or I could go for a walk and enjoy an environment. Or these days, I could be on my phone all night.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going somewhere like really remote, maybe you won't get reception. That's when you have your power banks and you download everything before you leave.
More people should do it. I cannot tell you how, side note, I cannot tell you how, and I don't know if I'm just getting older and angrier, maybe, but like in a world where so much of my life is involved with technology, and I appreciate and love many things, you know, we fucking million screens here in front of me and the TV, and like I love my great TV and all these things, but boy do I try to disconnect myself a little bit more these days, like do my time. I downloaded an app on my phone that, you know, press the button and it blocks TikTok and Instagram for like an hour, so I can't accidentally open them and stuff like that, because I'm legit scared of the way we're headed, you know? Too much doom scrolling.
Stick it in my veins.
Too much doom scrolling. It is bad for your soul. It is bad for your brain. It popped up. Let me tell you right now, hold on, we're going on a side tangent, and it will relate back to movies in 2 seconds, is how I'm going to relate this back. So the app is called, for everyone that wants to play at home, the app is called Opal. It's free. There's a paid version, but I'm just using it for free, and you can block 2 apps at a time. But I'll tell you, here's what I'm guessing, mate. So you download the app, you sync it, and it syncs to your I know you use Samsung or whatever, but sure you've got like a, you know, usage time thing or whatever, like how often you use apps. You know, like it tracks it in the background, can tell you how often you use certain apps for the week or the month or the year or whatever. And it did all that. And it pops up as soon as you use the app. It's like, hey, and then last year or whatever it was, you used Instagram for this many hours. In that time, you could have watched 22 films, is what it popped up and told me. And I was like, man, this app is speaking my language. You're telling me I could have watched 22 movies if I doom scrolled less? Let's say I don't even want to fully get rid of the doom scrolling, because I still enjoy looking at reels and finding funny things on there, including Robert Pattinson interviews. So let's say I halved it. I could have watched 11 more movies if I halved the doom scrolling time. That's 11 more movies, Ash.
Yeah.
That's an important that's a big amount. Like that's a statistic, you know? That's my advice to everyone. But scroll Instagram less and use it to actually watch something more productive.
All right. That's everything in our watch list, so let's move on.
No, I don't want to
Newsworld-
move on because I just remembered something,
Okay.
which is that amongst all my doom scrolling, there was 2 other funny interviews from the week that I want you to track down. One of them is everyone should look up. I remembered it before and I pinned it in my brain, but I forgot to bring it up. There's an interview that's going around for The Boys season 5 with Jensen Ackles and Anthony Starr. Have you seen it? Where the guy brings up his haircut thing from the
Yes, Indian barber.
Yeah.
Indian hair transplant place.
Yeah.
It's pulled a photoshopped image of Jensen Ackles being bald as a before photo, and him in real life as the after photo.
Yeah. And Anthony Starr's cackling during said interview and laughing brought me great lots of joy. So I would suggest everyone find that one. And I forgot what the second interview I thought of, but that's the main one I was going to mention.
That was the most important thing?
That was the most important thing. I thought that was quite fun.
Well, that interesting leads into our next segment because there isn't much film news. Everybody's waiting for CinemaCon to talk about anything. So I think it's time for the return of the Blatant Engagement Farming Questionnaire, in which I just give Dylan a bunch of questions and hopefully we can pull them for social media stuff.
I'm not awake enough.
All right.
Did you see last time? It did work for farming for engagement because I don't know if you saw, but one of the clips with the top 3 movie commandments, some dude on TikTok, I think it was the first time it's ever happened for any clip. When someone duetted it and then answered the question. I think that's the first time.
And he has such a better answer than you.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, but to be fair,
he had time.
He had time to think about it. But I think our clips for podcasts, probably one of the best things done in the last 12 months of this, because they usually do quite well across Instagram and TikTok, which is probably why most people do clips of podcasts.
That's probably why people do it. Yeah.
So much. But I think that usually get like okay amount of comments and likes and whatever. But I think that's the first time I've ever seen someone duet one of our videos.
Yep. That's very effective. The number of, when I'm doom scrolling, the number of other podcasts saying they hate the Super Mario movie. That's what the algorithm's feeding me. Only to be filled with comments of it's for movie for kids and all the other stuff in every single comment section. Anyway.
Locked in.
All right, Dylan. What is the best online interviewing show thing that they do now? PR thing.
I need you to elaborate. What's the
the lie detector tests or the, what are the top trending Google searches of indie actors or interviewers with puppies or what was it, High Court or Chicken Dinner Date or all those kind of stuff. What is the best
I'm a big fan of it.
Interview
segment? It's Amelia with Chicken Date's pretty good. I will say my current favorite, I say favorite even though I can't remember her name because I only started watching it a couple months ago or like 6 weeks ago. Hold on, I'm going to try and find a name so I can answer this. All right, my current favorite one is Catherine McCaff. Catherine McCaff, I think I'm saying that right. That's my current favorite one of these internet celebrity shows. So if you want to Google that one. Now, the reason I said, what does Elon Musk's daughter name is because that was the most recent guess. Vivian was the answer to that question I forgot. But there was a funny part on there this week. So as for example of how off the road these interviews quite get, is at some point, someone off screen, you can watch the clip on, they cut it out for Instagram. She's interviewing Vivian and goes, and someone off screen, the camera goes, stop, I think that's a spider there. So they're pretending they got to stop the interview. And then it's this weird game where they didn't just wanted to see what she'd do, but she goes over to find the spider. And then Catherine's like, and that's a game. And then Vivian still thinks there's a spider there, but they were just trying to see if she'd go look for the spider. The interview is just quite often nonsensical. The week before that, they had Anna Akana on there as well, so that was quite good. But usually it's very LGBTQ focused, I guess, would be my thing. But so her or Chicken Soup Date is my answer to your question. You get what you asked for.
Next one. If Studio Ghibli was to remake an existing film, what would you suggest?
Of theirs or like?
I would say any film.
Studio Ghibli was to remake any film. But Pocahontas.
Okay. You got any rationale behind that?
because there's themes in there that fit them, and they could do a better job at representing they could do a better job than American filmmakers did at representing the indigenous factor within that film than being Japanese filmmakers and American filmmakers managed to do.
Isn't that just Princess Mononoke there?
Yeah, but I think that's why I went there.
It's fine. They can retread stuff. All right, this one is probably going to hit close to home. What show do you think we should do a podcast about that is underrated? Underrated show. It could be finished that we could do like a dissection of.
I have an easy answer to this because there is a show that I very much enjoyed. I watched it week by week. Now I'm gonna see if you can guess it first. It was before Explosion Network started, but I would have talked about it before. Now the actor that stars in it has been mentioned in this podcast. It's a show that I very much enjoyed. It will run for 5 seasons, I think. Stars an actor that we have mentioned on here before. What this episode was quite known for its violence and sex.
That would be the Anthony Starr starring.
Click, 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 click.
Time.
Yeah.
Banshee.
Yep, Banshee. I loved Banshee. It was so good. Every week I was looking forward to watching Banshee. Such a wild show. Great action scenes, just ridiculous characters. Yeah.
I don't think there's any Banshee podcasts.
I don't know. I've never looked at it. I never looked. But when did that end? Since you've got it up, what was
2016?
Yeah, so the year before Explosion Network. There we go. I think at one point I mentioned it to Nick, and Nick did watch some of it, maybe. Or
we did watch an episode for.
I made us watch an episode early Explosion Network.
2 episodes, yeah. As
yes.
What did we end up watching? I think.
Yes. See. Do you remember?
That's why I knew.
Do you remember if you enjoyed it?
I think so.
Yeah, because the first episode starts like he gets out of prison and he goes to track down his girlfriend. And he goes to this town, and then she's like married to this other guy. But then he ends up talking to the dude who's about to start as the sheriff the next day in the town, and then he gets killed, not by Anthony Starr's character, but then Anthony Starr's like, I'm going to pretend to be the sheriff and hang around here to try and like figure out what's going on with my ex and all these other weird mob shit that he got himself tied into. So the show is him pretending to be the sheriff, but no one knows he's not the sheriff other than his ex-girlfriend, who also doesn't want to say anything because it would blow her cover as having this like she used to be a partner in crime with this big criminal, because her current husband does not know that, and she's like just this good housewife, you know. And then the main dude in it, Proctor. Look, I even know the character's name. Proctor. He is like the big mob tie. Is it's all tied into like an Amish family. Yeah, it has some fucking sick ass fight scenes in it, like nasty shit fight scenes.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. Yeah.
One day when we can do this full time.
Yeah.
A podcast breaking down
Banshee.
Underwatch shows.
They have a highway chase scene in like the second last season that was just next level shit. What show? Underrated show. There you go.
All right. Show. Next question. What are the minimum special features a 4K should have?
Do you mean like the Blu-ray disc? I can tell you right now that they don't give you anywhere enough. The amount of times you pick up a 4K disc and it's like, what have you got on this? Nothing. I got the movie, motherfucker. Is that all you need? I'm like, no, I need one. I would say at minimum, I need commentary, and the commentary should include the director, at least one member from the main cast, and then a producer. I would take. I think as a good coverage across it. Now you can mix some of those positions up on maybe two of these people, whatever. But I think decent. Sometimes you quite often pick up movie and you got movie commentary, and it'll be like, we've got the 7th member of the cast, we've got the co-producer and the editor,
some background extras,
or some bucket. Yeah, it's like, okay, we've got this. No offense, but we've got the E team talking about this motherfucker today. That, and then I need a behind the scenes featurette, and I know that I can't expect them to ever be as good as they used to be back in the day. So I'll take a 20-minute one, not an hour-long one, because there used to be like proper hour-long mini documentaries that you're getting behind-the-scenes features. And then, I'll just, let's say 3 things at a minimum for DVD Blu-ray features, or else I'll go on forever. So commentary, behind-the-scenes feature, deleted scenes.
You like deleted scenes?
like deleted scenes. Deleted scenes are, I think, an integral part of movie DVD culture. And the amount of times people would talk about the deleted scenes and like bring them up to directors and discussion points and like
Why didn't
alternate
that work?
this
Yeah.
or like why didn't this and all that sort of stuff. I think deleted scenes were always a huge part of a reason that people liked getting a DVD, and they'd watch the deleted scenes, and then you'd see people talking about them online and discussing why that didn't make the movie, or if this character did this, like this scene's really important, but it's not canon. It's not canon because it didn't actually make the final cut. Yeah, I think deleted scenes are so those three things.
These technical categories, from least important to most important: editing, cinematography, sound, production design.
You're like trying to start fights. Hold on. Editing, production design,
cinematography,
sound, cinematography, editing, production design, sound, cinematography, editing, production design, sound, cinematography. I'm going to put sound last. I think the film is a visual medium first and foremost, and it started without sound and can be done without sound, as proven by the start of film. So I put sound last. Then I'm going to go. Actually, no, I've got it. Then I'm going to put in third. I'm going to put production design because as good as it is and it can be an integral part, there's so many movies where the production design is just trash and it doesn't really matter. Or if you think about, on stage arts, production design can be super, super minimal. And if the elements are good, the story still comes along and the actors are the one telling the story and they take you into the world at the end of the day. Then I'll go cinematography second because it is, again, the visual medium. And I think having good shots is super important. But I would say editing is the most important. And editing is basically the second hand to the director. And if bad editing is bad editing, it can ruin a movie. Yeah. Appreciate that. Thank you.
I would have sound up one spot, I feel like. Because I feel like if a sound has bad sound, it's going to take you out of the whole experience.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just taking sound out. In my mind, I'm like putting it last in mind, I'm like, we can do without sound. I can watch a silent movie,
What zombie film do you think you would last longest in?
Shaun the Dead.
What zombie movie do you think you'd die the quickest in?
Dawn of the Dead, 2004, where those motherfuckers run.
Anyone with running zombies is like
anything with running
bad to start with.
Bad task. Yeah, so Shaun the Dead, for some reason, that's where my mind went for slow zombies because I feel like they appear the slowest in that movie and the dumbest. So that's easy. And then, Dawn of the Dead, when they start running around super crazy. And it doesn't matter. Here's the thing with the zombies in that movie. They could have been the most unfit motherfuckers in the whole world, but suddenly turn into zombies and, Usain Bolt.
It's because they don't care. I guess they don't feel pain.
Yeah, they don't feel anything.
So
they just go. They just go,
Zombies don't care about cardio.
Yeah. So you're fucked at that point.
Yeah. All right. What deceased filmmaker would you want to see make a movie today?
What's his name? That narrows it down, doesn't it?
That narrows it down to 75% of deceased directors.
You ask.
I asked the hard-hitting questions.
Sidney Lumet.
Okay. It's a good answer.
Obviously made a lot of... I think if he was around today with what's happening in the world politically, I think he would be a filmmaker primed to tackle a lot of the things happening. I mean, he's the guy who made Network and Serpico and Dog Day Afternoon we're talking about. So, there's my answer.
Good answer. All right. Last one. Feel like this one will start fights. What non-English speaking language... What non-speaking English country makes the best movies?
I feel like that's a weird way to phrase that question, but I know what you mean. I'm just going to go Japan.
Wow.
Well, you just saying that, or you actually think it's... You just think, I was going to say, you're just trying to, I mean...
Is that just called anime films?
No, the horror there.
Stuff.
Obviously, there's a lot
Godzilla.
of... Yeah, Godzilla. Japan has a very rich cinema history that crosses multiple genres. And, I mean, if you go, Akira Kurosawa, without Akira Kurosawa influencing so many modern day American filmmakers, like you don't view his films as like the samurai films. You just think of Akira Kurosawa as the director, and that leads to so many people like Spielberg and whoever else. So Japan.
About French New Wave, though, Dylan.
What about this? What about that?
What about all
Like,
the prominent South Korean actors?
Get the hell out of here. Yeah, all right. You see, asked me to pick one thing, I pick one thing.
All right. Yeah, that's the end of the questionnaire. We'll look forward to seeing which of those questions you want to answer.
I thought you was about to say, we'll look out finding if Dylan's right. I'm like, what are we voting on this? Like,
the public will decide if you're right or wrong.
The public will decide if I'm taken to the
sure,
walk
stick
the
around
plank
to find
because
out
I
how you
said
can
Japan.
find our socials at the end of the episode.
You fucking racist! How dare you say Japan and not this other country?
All right, let's move to give a thumbs to trailers.
Most white guy answer ever. Of course he would say Japan while wearing a Death Note jumper. Fucking anime nerd.
All right, thumbs to trailers. Of course, we write all the trailers about talk about in the show notes below. Kicking things off, we've got Half Man, credited by Richard Gadd, starring Richard Gadd and Jamie Bell. When Niles' estranged brother Reuben shows up at his wedding, it leads to an explosion of violence that catapults us back through their lives from the 80s to the present day. Dylan, what do you think of the trailer from the new series from the creator of Baby Reindeer?
Double thumbs up. Looks really good. Richard Gadd got bulked up. Hey, I have no idea what's going on in the trailer. All I know is acting's acting. There's some plot happening that's intriguing. Potentially they're going to fuck. I don't know. But, yep, keen to watch it.
Yeah, I'll give it 2 thumbs up as well. It seems like Jamie Bell's playing the Richard Gadd role, and Richard Gadd's playing somebody else. What you would expect, anyway. Yeah, it seems like it's the story of 2, I don't know, step siblings who are forced together and have some sort of intense relationship before Jamie Bell fucks over Richard Gadd's character. Seems like it's all coming to fruition. But yes, there is also the clear tension between the two of them, so that's very intriguing. So yeah, very interesting. A Half Man is coming to Stan here in Australia on the 20th of April.
I really want to know how these things work still with the HBO stuff.
So it's a BBC series. There's been licensed to HBO and also been licensed to Stan here in Australia.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Is what I worked out post.
Okay.
Because I put the trailer that I've got in the show notes is from the HBO. So.
Well, I was confused because I could play on the trailer and I haven't watched it until you shared it, to be honest. And then I watched it, I see HBO come up, but I was like, no, I've already seen the Stan press release for like a couple weeks back. And I remember seeing it was on that. I'm like, hold on.
Crazy if it was on both, yeah. All right, next trailer. Couples Weekend. It's directed by Nora Kirkpatrick, starring Alexandra Daddario, Daveed Diggs, Josh Gad, and Ashley Park. 4 adults navigate deception and desire when a fallen tree on New Year's Eve triggers a chain of events that challenges their relationships and the lies they tell themselves and each other. Dylan, what did you think of the trailer for Couples Weekend?
Yes, double thumbs up. Looks very good. Dark comedy, I guess, to a degree. Really enjoy the cast. I'll enjoy the concept. I've just been stuck in a cabin and the inability to escape and have to deal with the absolute awkwardness of the whole scenario and the boiling tension of it. It looks like a movie you would hate because of all those elements. So, yep, double thumbs up from me. But for you, I don't know.
I give the trailer 2 thumbs up because it does look fun. But yes, I can imagine in practice it'd be very awkward unless they're going to end up killing each other, which is definitely a possibility implied by a lot of the dialogue in the trailer. But yes, the idea of being stuck in a cabin, snowed in with your cheating spouse sounds like the worst thing possible. And the differing approaches of both Josh Gad and Alexandra Daddario from witnessing that happening, of her wanting to call it out and him just wanting to bury it down and never forget it ever happened, I think is interesting. So yeah, intrigued with this one. Couples Weekend is releasing it in the US on the 8th of May. Currently no Australian release date.
Should have brought this out on Valentine's Day. They fucked up.
Yeah. Next trailer. Mutiny. Directed by John Francis Richet. Starring Jason Statham, Annabelle Wallace, and Jason Wong. Cole Reed was in the Special Forces and served as a New York police officer in a former life. Now working private security, Reed is framed for murdering his Thai billionaire friend, Tibu, and he comes across an international conspiracy in his search for the true killer. Dylan, what did you think of the latest one of these Jason Statham movies?
Jason Statham be Jason Statham playing Jason Statham doing Jason Statham things. And I mean, I'll go watch Jason Statham do the Jason Statham things where he does Jason Statham stuff where, you know, Jason Statham black belts some people and Jason Statham can be a superstar diver, Jason Statham under the water. Cool. One up, one down.
Yeah, this is one up, one down. I don't know. It feels like we're getting Jason Statham overload at the moment. It feels like
No, I
it's
think
just a
Jason Statham.
Jason Statham. It's a Jason Statham onslaught, you know, of almost the same character in slightly different situations.
This character's way different to the last two. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I guess he's not a hermit this time. Yeah, so that's way different.
It's way different.
He's like slightly tangentially related to the
Doesn't
thing
even
that
look
he's.
the same character.
He doesn't look. He doesn't look the same. I mean, he's going up there with Liam Neeson for trying to play the same character as many times as possible. I mean, at one point we're gonna have to do like a Jason Statham rankings.
I wonder how many Jason Statham movies you can watch in a row before back to back before
You
you
just
either
shave
go
your head
insane
from craziness.
or you just shave your head without thinking. Walk into the mirror and you're just like, hello. How the
Oi.
fuck are you? Oi, governor.
Bees. One day. Yes, Mutiny is coming to cinemas on the 20th of August.
I should have walked to a cinema one day and just not ask for the movie ticket, just walk up to the front counter. I have one for the latest Jason Statham.
Got to get that Jason Statham.
Yeah, inject that latest Statham into me.
Yeah. All right, next trailer is for Remarkably Bright Creatures, directed by Olivia Newman, starring Sally Field, Louis Pullman, Joan Chen, Kathy Barker, Beth Grant, Sophia Black, Delea, Colm Meaney, and Alfred Molina. Through unlikely bonds formed during night shifts at a local aquarium, Tova, an elderly widow, learns of a life-changing discovery that may bring her joy and wonder once again. Dylan, what do you think of the trailer for Remarkably Bright Creatures?
Am I going insane, or did you do that segment where we talk about would I invest, and was this one of the movies?
That one, I don't remember.
I swear something about an octopus.
I would be surprised. I know there was definitely one with an octopus. I don't know whether it's
this. I don't know if it was this, but I'm watching the trailer going, that motherfucker made me talk about some octopus thing, and I don't remember if it's this. I just remember something about an octopus and going, that sounds dumb. That's all I remember saying. But I don't even know if it's this. I'm going double thumbs up. This looks really good. I like the casting. Really enjoy the. I mean, it's something you don't get often, which is just a movie focused on a older woman, and you know, I think also the pairing of putting it out on Mother's Day and all these elements, like they're very clearly targeting it towards a certain demographic, but it's a demographic that doesn't often get movies made. Like, there's not many movies that are targeted at older women, and trying to focus on what that's like, especially to be in her scenario of, you know, sort of potentially a widower or at least alone, those sorts of elements. So yeah, double thumbs up. It looks really enjoyable. The octopus factor is just a cute little aspect that's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, weirdly 2 thumbs up for me as well. I feel like it's this nice, hopeful movie. The tone is really fun or nice or like different to anything else we're currently getting at the moment. All depressing stuff in the world. I really like Louis Pullman and stuff. So lately, seeing him in this and playing a very likable, but sort of not having found his way in the world kind of person, I think is interesting. Sally Field looks really good. And yeah, I was trying to peg what the voice was of the octopus the entire time, and then yes, Alfred Molina at the end. So very judgmental octopus. So yeah, all right. Remarkably Bright Creatures is coming to Netflix on the 8th of May, which is, I believe, the Friday before Mother's Day. Just so you know, here, the 10th of May is Mother's Day. Everywhere except Britain, I believe. Because the Britons need to give their mothers a day earlier, or months earlier, I don't know. Anyway, last trailer for this week. The Punisher, One Last Kill. Directed by Reynaldo Marcus Green, starring John Barenthal, as Frank Castle searches for meaning beyond revenge, an unexpected force pulls him back into the fight. Dylan, what do you think of the trailer for the latest Marvel special presentation?
Double thumbs up. Looks great. Looks very action focused, very gritty, very intense. I have no idea what's going on, but double thumbs up.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up for me as well. It looks really good. Like, it definitely seems like we'll be getting a kind of look at Punisher's or Frank Castle's like kind of psyche at the present point in time or whenever. I feel like it's interesting because this trailer doesn't seem like it's set during the events of Daredevil Born Again, which is what our theory was of why he's not in that show, because we're getting something happening during those events. But so, how does it fit into the larger world of the MCU? I'm not really caring that much. It seems like it could potentially just be this very basic story of he is in his apartment, the immigrants across the street are getting abducted or taken. One of the kids is getting kidnapped. And of
ICE
course,
is back at it again.
damn, there's icy people. And this kid gets kidnapped, and it's a natural surrogate for his child that he had before they got murdered. So yeah, looks really good. Very keen to check that out. Punisher: One Last Kill, which is definitely a title, is coming out May 12th on Disney Plus. Be sure to check out all new Marvel cast, where we will be doing a Punisher rewatch in the lead up to this special before we talk about it over there. All right, Dylan, let's move into this week's top 3.
Definitely in the top 3.
And with the show, Margot's got money troubles, starring Elle Fanning, coming out this week. This week's top 3 is top 3 actors who were formerly child stars.
You're struggling, man. You're struggling.
Listen, I gave you another option and you shot that one down. So, yeah. All right, Dylan, what's your number 3?
Number 3 is Kirsten Dunst.
Okay.
Obviously, she's a huge star now, and has been since, I guess, Spider-Man. But she had... Well, here's the thing. When I was thinking about this list, I started clicking around some people who I knew had been like child actors, including Leonardo DiCaprio, because I was like, oh, he was a child actor. But then when you go back and actually look at their stuff, you're like, yeah, but like he didn't really do anything like that stands out when he was a kid. So I'm like, I don't know if that really counts. Like he wasn't really prominent. But Kirsten Dunst is a huge part of Interview with the Vampire and some other things around there that I can't really remember. But she's at least she's been in at least a couple of things that she's memorable as a child actor before then growing up. I mean, even these Little Women and stuff like that. So there's my number 3.
Okay. My rationale behind my picks was, who have I seen transition from child actors to adult stars? So I didn't pick people like Leo or Christian Bale or Jodie Foster. So just putting that out there. My number 3 is Daniel Radcliffe, who I think has
That's my number 2.
Such an interesting post-Wizard series career in which he is, obviously he's done a lot of theater and that kind of stuff, but also picks some of the most weirdest and obscure films and shows to star in. And, obviously we really love the Weird Al movie that he did. He hasn't yet done like the serious, like dramatic.
What are you talking about? Swiss Army Man was the most serious role I've seen an actor do, full stop, ever.
That's fair.
The way he was able to play dead and fart at the same time is bar
He
none.
hasn't gotten film or television awards recognition yet, is what I'm saying. Is more what I'm leaning towards. So, although he should have the Swiss Army Man, definitely he should have gotten all the awards for that role. But yeah, here's my number 3. Your number 2?
Yeah, number 2. I mean, obviously, Harry Potter was like just the perfect example of an actor who could have just typical child actor who had a big career and then probably gets addicted to drugs and ruins their life and fizzles out, and we've seen it happen a million times.
Ice cream truck or something.
Yeah, and just does absolute wild things. But nope, Daniel Radcliffe is, for all accounts, turned into a nice young man, and he just appears to be someone who's happy to read scripts and just takes on projects that he generally finds interesting. And I mean, obviously, with the amount of money he would have made from Harry Potter, he doesn't have any need to chase money in at any aspect. So I think you see that projected in his career and stuff he chooses to do either on stage or in front of a camera, because he just does stuff that he finds to be interesting stories.
All right. My number 2 is Nicholas Hoult, who got his start in About a Boy with Hugh Grant. That was one of his first roles, and then transitioned to starring in Skins, which was a vehicle for a lot of people to get their start and that kind of stuff. So, and now he's in one of the most interesting actors in Hollywood at the moment. Obviously, Superman, Juror 2, he was starting the great. Obviously, he was in Mad Max Fury Road and all this kind of stuff. The Menu, very interesting actor working at the moment. So he's my number 2. Dylan, what's your number 1?
My number 1's Ryan Gosling. Mickey Mouse Club, child actor, child singer, turned Hollywood superstar, and one of my favorite actors still working. So that had to, that I put, this was a number 1. Sometimes you do these lists, different orders, but I locked in Ryan Gosling and then went 3-2. Yeah.
All right. My number 1 is Saoirse Ronan. Who got her her first film was Atonement. And then like what I remember, like remember she was in The Lovely Bones, and then has in Hannah, a film literally about a child assassin, and then has progressed to become
crazy that
one of the best actors in Hollywood.
It's Eric Bana, right?
The
dad in Hannah, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, and now she's a 4-time Academy Award nominee.
Yeah, straight up, some would say one of the greatest current working female
actors.
There is, yeah.
Yeah, and now she's just going to be one of the Beatles' wives. Yeah, so she's my number 1. All right, Dylan, this week, what do you want to watch?
Now, nothing really, to be completely honest, but because we got to watch some things. So in the cinema front, we have Lee Cronen's The Mummy, which is a terrible title, and I probably will.
Wow, what are you going against Lee Cronin?
I just don't. I hate the title. Like Lee Cronen's The Mummy. I know they want to separate it, and especially because they got the new one properly coming and everything. But I'm like, it's just I fucking hate the title. I got to say it every time now.
I don't know. I love movies with the title. You know, in the.
What'd you go watch in the weekend? Oh man, I went and checked out Lee Cronen's The Mummy. Sorry, is it just called The Mummy? And you're saying the director at the time? No. The movie's title is Lee Cronen's The Mummy.
I thought we were fans of directors or filmmakers' names in the title. Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas. Jordan Peele's Candyman.
Jordan Peele's Candyman is the only one I'm a fan of. I'm telling you right now. I'm sort of semi-interested in the movie. I mean, just only because it had all those reports of it being bad, or at least the Hollywood insiders sort of stuff happening. But yet, his past movie, which was Evil Dead Rise. Evil Dead Rise. Really like that, obviously. And then, I don't know, like, that sort of reinvented that franchise. So what's this going to do? Anyway, that's my movie pick. And then on the TV front, Margot's got Money Troubles, as we just you mentioned. That starts on Apple TV.
I'm going to go another pick, and I'm going to go Fuse, which is a new movie from the director of Hell or High Water that stars Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Theo James, Sam Worthington, and it's about a crime taking place while they're trying to defuse a World War II bomb in the middle of London.
Sam Worthington, eh?
Yeah. Watch the trailer, looks pretty solid. So that's my movie pick for this week. On the TV front, I would probably also pick Margot's Big Trouble, but I'll diverge and say that Beef Season 2 is dropping this week. This time starring Oscar Isaac, Carey Mulligan, Charles Henton?
I think it's Heaton, isn't it? Or
Charles Melton and Kaylee Spaney. So that's a whole bunch of great current actors.
Oh.
He's from May December and from every season of Riverdale except the first one.
Oh, yeah. May December. He's the kid.
He's
not kid.
He's
the younger gentleman.
He's the husband.
Yes.
All right, let us know what you want to watch this week. Or find our social media cutouts that are definitely going to come from this episode by going to explosionnetwork.com/follow. If you want to help us out here at What Do You Want to Watch, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser. Leave us 5 stars. And leave 5 stars, or just tell people about the show. And if you want to help us out at Explosion Network with all our other podcasts and all our news and reviews on the website, head over to explosionnetwork.com. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.